Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Well, good evening, everybody. And welcome to the podcast for Gotham, Season 3, Episode 1, Better to Reign in Hell. My God, this made it 3 seasons. I'm your host, John. With me tonight is my lovely co-host, Nikki.
Hi.
Hello.
And last season, they really found their groove. I think that's why Season 3 exists.
Yeah, because it wasn't looking good at the end of Season 1. So,
No.
They really kind of turned it around. But then, I feel like towards the end of end of the last season, things got a little too crazy for me.
Yeah, that was pretty hectic.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. But, we kicked off this season pretty much right where the last season left off, where Jim was like, I gotta find Lee.
Yeah, he did.
And he did. He found her. She was in the South. He put on his nice suit. He went to the door. But
He
then
had
peered
flowers.
in the window. He was ready. Man, he was like Rico Suave. He was going to get her. And then he looks in the window and sees her with, yes, another man.
Oh, man.
And then Jim's sad.
Jim sad.
Jim leave.
Jim in turmoil and drinking away his sorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's not been coping well.
No.
And
I do
then-
agree with his choice to not join back with the GCPD.
Right now,
Yeah.
Because Barnes would not, I don't think, ever let him do anything he would want to do.
For some reason, I saw Barnes. I'm like, wait, isn't he dead? And it took me a while to realize that, no, he wasn't dead. They just didn't show us him going to the hospital and getting better.
Right,
They didn't
because
show any of that.
this was a 6-month time skip after Jim got sad.
Right. Yeah.
So, things have changed, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Barnes isn't dead. Someone else isn't dead who we thought might have been dead, but we'll get to her in a minute. So anyway, yeah, like you said, Jim's not joining back with the GCPD, even though Harvey really, 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 really wants him to.
Harvey's his bro, and he feels lonely without Jim, and it's sad.
It is really sad.
So it's cute to watch him be like, please, Jim, and Jim's like, oh, hell no.
Just come back, man. We'll go get them together. It's like, no, bro, I can't. I'm doing this bounty hunter thing, which I guess is sort of a funny little allusion to what, the city being kind of cool with vigilantes already. So I guess that's kind of neat. It kind of gives the runway to Batman when he inevitably shows up.
I mean, are they gonna allude to a different universe where it starts off with Jim being Batman and the torch gets handed down to Bruce?
I guess we'll get into this now. So I had this weird thought,
Okay.
and I was like, and they kind of alluded to it in this episode, maybe Harvey should be the Jim Gordon in this universe, where he's the commissioner and he's heading up the police department, because they already had him in the role as acting captain when Barnes was injured.
Yep.
And so he even mentioned I kind of liked it. I kind of liked leading. So maybe that's where they're going to go with this, is kind of swap their roles a little bit and have Harvey take over eventually, and then Jim can be the rough detective on the streets, or maybe even Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe, because I know I've talked about this before, but he was Batman for quite some time in the recent comics, not albeit completely different circumstances, but there is sort of a precedent for him being Batman, and I could see it happening the way he's going, because
Yeah.
he basically is in a very ragtag way.
I can see a lot of people complaining about that, but for me, it's intriguing. I actually like that twist.
It would help me reconcile what they've done with him. Because
Yes.
right now, he is not Commissioner Gordon material at all. He would need,
Oh, no.
like, this would take like a decade of work just to get him back to there,
Hmm.
He's not in any position to be in any kind of leadership role or anything like that. So, like, I could let that happen as long as they're not just like, oh, BT Dubs season 3 finale, you're commissioner now. I couldn't do it. I could not let them do it.
No.
But yeah, that was my thought as well. So, yeah, maybe that's the direction they're taking him.
I'd hope so.
I mean, he took down Killer Croc by himself.
Hmm. Was
So,
that Killer Croc?
I mean, I thought so, right? I mean, as a lizard-looking big guy.
Yeah, but then there's that snively little guy later. It was like,
Oh, that's Man-Bat.
oh yeah, he had the wings, right?
Yeah, that's
That
Man-Bat.
part. See, I know I'm kind of jumping ahead, but like the new actress that they've kind of implanted into the show, I see her as a completely different character, so I'm not liking her introduction at all.
Oh.
So like she's connected to the whole man bat with the picture thing, and it's just like, no, please don't.
Yeah, so I guess we could jump to that real quick. So,
Sorry.
no, it's okay because it happened pretty early on.
Yeah.
So we have Vicky Vale in the show now, and she is, let's just say, precocious and a real go-getter.
She's a go-getter, that's for sure.
She's pretty pushy. I mean, and that's kind of part of how Vicky is supposed to be. Like, I mean, if you go all the way back in time to the 40s, she was originally made as like a competition to Lois Lane, sort of. Like she was supposed to like a response to like Lois Lane for Superman. Okay. So, she's like that's supposed to be like that reporter lady. But, she was always like a take no shit kind of lady who was really, really hard on the police and hard on the government and, exposed, eventually led to exposing a lot of corruption and stuff like that. So, she is a big deal.
Yeah.
But you don't seem to like her portrayal. I'm getting from this.
I think it's more or less. I think the actress should be playing a different role in a different show.
Oh right, she was on Once Upon a Time.
She's
Correct?
Mulan in Once Upon a Time, and almost all of the fans are screaming for more Mulan. So having her in Gotham is just like they ripped something away from us, and I want to cry about it just a little bit. But
Okay.
I'm sure she'll because she did give you a little bit of background, a lot of like her parent, her dad, right, her grandfather, they're all have a police background, and she knows what to look for and everything. So they're definitely building her up better than they built up Lee for me. And see, I also have the same problem with the actress who plays Lee because I've always seen her as other characters versus what she plays in Gotham. So I think that's just a thing that my brain does. Like I can't. I
can't reconcile that in your brain.
No. But
so,
I mean,
so like my only gripe with her is like I see it now. They're already setting it up so her and Jim are gonna hook up. I'm calling it now. It's gonna happen. The sexual tension is obvious because she keeps bothering him at the bar, and he's just like, "No, shut up, go away."
If she fixes him, it'll be okay. But if she's just like, if she's like his rebound, it's just terrible.
It's gonna be gross. I mean, I hope. I just don't like this trend that Jim's gonna bang every significant female character on the show that's not a bad guy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, you already had Barbara, who's now a villain, but fine. You had Lee, who's like a big character in the comics. Now you have Vicky Vale, who's another big character in the comics. Like, you cannot bang all these women. I'm sorry, Jim.
Well,
life doesn't work like that.
You really could. But it just, no.
It just wouldn't be right. Because then, like, what? Batgirl's going to show up? It's like, oh, hey, you're not my daughter this time because canon. Fuck it. Oh, Barbara? I used to date a Barbara.
Oh, gosh.
I don't know. I just hope, I'm really hoping they don't take that direction. Maybe she's already got a boyfriend or something. I don't know.
Let's hope.
But, so she's interesting because obviously she rushes to the front of the press corps during the meeting. makes the mayor and the police chief answer a whole lot of questions I don't want to answer. And then later we find out that, she's actually been sort of helping Fish. So, she's all over the place already,
Yeah.
and she's like prodding Jim to go after people to help Fish and all this stuff. So, she's already got a pretty heavy connection to the city, I think, which is good. She doesn't feel kind of forced. She feels sort of part of everything. But, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot of her.
Oh, yeah. She's not going anywhere.
She's not going anywhere for a long, long time.
Mm-mm.
I'm surprised that she's so old already, I think, because, like, by the time Batman and, like, the comics is floating around, like, she's, like, around his age.
Okay.
So she's, like, probably closer to Jim's age, I'm going to guess, in this show. So it seems like, maybe by the time, if and when we ever get to Batman, she'll be, like, an older, wiser,
Maybe. Or they're going to do what we talked about earlier. And then she'd be fine with the age that she's at right now.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see from her. I'm not totally opposed to her being there, but we'll have to kind of just see how she works herself in.
Yeah.
Little note, just to mention before we go too far, Lucius left Wayne Corp.
Yeah, well, I don't blame him. He knows what's going on. In a sense, he doesn't want to be caught up in that shit because he just about got blowed up.
Yeah, like he's been through enough, and he's now working at the GCPD. I guess he's sort of taken over like Lee and / the Riddler's role.
He's definitely in the science part of the GCPD, but I'm not quite sure on his exact like place or role.
What he's doing, like, is it forensics or research? Like, he seems to be like the intel guy right now.
Yeah, just intel. Because I don't see him doing like the forensics that Nigma was doing, and I don't see him as more like a mortician or anything. not a mortician, but working in the morgue.
Well, yeah. But like, right, because his background is like inventing and like science, so it's like I wouldn't.
Right.
That's why I was kind of confused. I'm like, what is your job title? Like, what are you?
Yeah.
I think it's cool. That means we're going to see more of him, I think.
I hope so. I enjoy Lucius as a character, and the actor is amazing. So
absolutely. Yeah, so that's totally fine with me. So more Lucius, aces. Let's keep it up.
Speaking of Nigma.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get to the Penguin first, then we'll get to
right, because they're connected.
Yeah. So the Penguin, during this press conference we've been kind of talking about, bursts through the door. I'm the Penguin, blah blah. We know who you are.
I loved that.
They
were
so
like,
great.
Dude, shut up. We don't need any introductions.
Just come on. Just start talking. So he really, really, really wants to get Fish. Really bad. It offers $1 million reward. Puts the GCPD on the chopping block. Like, really just puts the screws down to the whole city. And, it gives great motivation for Jim to go after Fish. He knows this. And he basically is like, Jim will get her now. As soon as he says that out loud. But that's not the last we see of Penguin. Then he goes to visit his friend the Riddler, who's still locked up at Arkham and has a completely heterosexual man date with him.
It was kind of cute.
Completely heterosexual. It was very cute. You could see that these two genuinely, like, I guess, admire one another.
They got a bond. It's... I don't know. I mean, for Nigma, Riddler, it's more of a like, it's more on the brotherly side. Like, dude, don't touch me, but we're good. Whereas Penguin's just like, he's like whimpering and he's snively and he's just like,
we don't know something about Penguin.
I mean, that's another thing they could do, I guess, is make him like the men's.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he bought him a nice gift, this apparently unsolvable puzzle that, of course, he solved in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So that was nice. And I mean, I think it was cool, like, Riddler gave him a little bit of advice, like, you have to go out and, like, if you want something, go out and take it. Like, basically, like, if you want to get fish, go get fish. Like, what are you waiting for?
I think the most, like, what basically shot Penguin out of that room, like, saying, like, oh God, I'm gonna get her, was he said, Penguin eat fish. And it's like, oh my God, what? It
We've all
blew
been
my
so
mind.
blind.
Like, why didn't you think of this before?
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I don't
We've
know.
been sitting there, like, going, Nigma's writing's terrible, and then they're like, they were still kind of like, on the edge last season, and then they just, with a bang, this
They clinched
first episode, they did.
Yeah, I think because now we're getting to, like, the less, I don't know. He was just such, like, a dork before.
He was.
You know? Like, he was just nerdy and awkward, and now he's, like, more confident. And he's just, like, it's kind of funny to see him bored. We've never seen him, like, bored before.
True.
Where he's just like, I have nothing to intellectually challenge me at this point. Which, will make him become the Riddler he's supposed to be. Because this is now he's going to concoct all these, like, elaborate, overarching schemes and stuff like that, like he's supposed to. So I think that's kind of an interesting point for him to be at right now.
Definitely.
I don't know.
And I saw, like, I couldn't pinpoint. I'm like, and you said he's bored. And I'm like, that's exactly what's wrong with him right now, because he just didn't even, like, there was no emotion. He just solved the puzzle, and he was very forward and blunt with what he had to say to Penguin, and that was that.
Yeah.
He's bored.
Yeah, he is. I mean, obviously he wants out
of
Arkham, but that's not going to be easy for him because he doesn't really have a superpower.
No.
It's hard to really think your way out of iron bars. So
there's that, and he doesn't have very much, like, pull on the outside, manipulation-wise or anything like that, other than Penguin. And Penguin doesn't really have that much pull himself. He has a name. It kind of still resonates in some of the territories, which we'll probably get into later. But I mean, it's not like it used to be when he was the king of Gotham.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also interesting, I think, that, like, our only conduit right now this season to the Riddler is Penguin. He's the only way, I think, realistically, we're ever going to get to see him. So it'll be cool to kind of see them interact more, I think, as the season goes on. Hopefully, that's how they're going to do it.
Yeah, there's that. Or, like, I'm hoping that, Jim's going to have to go back to Nigma because there's going to be some sort of puzzle that he cannot solve.
That could be.
I mean, I think that's a plot thing they've done before in a small sense, but I mean, yeah, it was him. They went to Nigma to solve Nigma's puzzle in the long run.
That's right. Yes.
But he helped anyways, just because it was fun for him, I guess. But yeah, it was just a small arc in the first season.
No, I think it was it the first season? Maybe it was.
Maybe it was.
I don't remember. Or maybe it was last season. I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
But in any case, yeah. So, maybe that'll be another way to get to him because he doesn't have a lot to do right now, like I said. But yeah, we could go on a little bit to what our dear friend Barbara's doing.
I like her much better now.
Yeah, so this bar has now changed hands like 3 times over the course of because this is Fish's bar, right?
This is, yes.
Like, I'm not crazy.
No, it's hers.
So
it was hers.
The third owner of this bar now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God bless dear, because it doesn't have a good track record. Barbara now runs Fish's nightclub. It seems like it's an all-ladies run establishment because, ta-da, Tabitha's not dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's partnered up with her in more ways than one.
Yeah. I can't say that the club does look good.
Oh, it does.
But, I mean, other than that, I mean, you see Barbara and she's nuts, and Tabitha's, murdery, as always. So,
which is exactly where we left off.
Pretty much.
It's fine. Barbara's completely a train wreck, and that's okay. She's a crazy train wreck. And I just want to point out in chat, Brian Grable said, I think Barbara has to become Harley Quinn. Yeah, probably. I don't
At
think
this
there's any coming
point,
back for her.
yeah, at this point, I think she's definitely going to be some sort of Harley Quinn-esque character.
Yeah. But anyway, Butch and Penguin show up. Well,
Poor Bumbly Butch.
poor little bumbly little Butch. So Penguin wants to go just to talk about fish. They don't know anything because they don't give a shit.
Mm-mm.
Rightfully so, ladies. Stay out of that trouble.
Yep.
And poor bumbly Butch is just, oh, hi, Tabitha. Are you okay? Because you look great. I don't mean that kind of great, but like you look great. Am I sweating? Oh, Butch. You are such a jealous man. Can't
He's
have your
jealous
girl.
and he's precious and he's just all these little things because of what all that shit he went through last season, like with the brainwashing and
The hand removal.
yes. Oh my goodness.
Ugh, poor guy. So he can't seem to let this one go, and he's crying in his beer, of course, at the bar. And Selena sneaks in, steals as well, and says, "Dude, you're an idiot," and leaves, which is really funny. But then this mob shows up. These gangsters show up in Barbara's bar, and they start roughing him up, and very quickly comes out that Butch actually sent them there, so like he could save them and whatever. And it was such a bad thing.
I mean, I think Penguin kind of nailed it when he said, you're stupid because like Barbara's like, you sent them here so that you could get rid of me-ish because of Tabitha, and Penguin's just like, oh my god, I can't do it this. Steal like I just can't. He's like, I have to kill somebody now. And he's like, problem solved. Walks out. It's all
All
because
right.
of you. Like, oh my goodness.
As you were, ladies, have fun, enjoy your. It's like Butch, dude. Come on, man. There's better ways. So I don't know. Butch. I don't think it's gonna work for you, man. I think she always liked Barbara more than you. And you were convenient, so leaving it at that. Anyway, so the big old plot with this episode is with these new villains that were escapees from Arkham.
Yep.
And I have named them as such because I actually don't know all their names. So I know Man-Bat.
Man-Bat. Okay.
Guy screeches, hugs people, bat wings. He did hug Jim a lot in that episode, and I don't know why. We got Marv, the old dude who makes people old.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
He's cool. We got what I'm sort of thinking is Killer Croc, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. We have not Bruce.
Not Bruce.
We have that dude in the full bodysuit mask thing, or is it a lady? I don't know. Person in the mask. Haven't seen much of you yet.
Looks like a lady, but could be a dude. I don't know.
We don't know.
No.
Then we need the lady. We have the lady who needs a sandwich. This is that skinny blonde chick with the short hair. I don't know her deal either. We have
super speedy though.
She's fast, yeah. And then we have the latex terror, who was the associate of the lady who needs a sandwich. I'm going to refer to them as such for now, because I don't know their names. I'm assuming we'll find out, and what their powers are too. Because really, it seems like all of them are just like really strong, except for Fish and Marv. But Marv is really cool. I'm really interested in him. But anyway,
I'm so interested in him for one particular reason.
Oh, would you like to share that now, or you want to wait?
Ivy. They recasted Ivy's character to an older girl, and he got to touch up on Ivy, and she's gonna be older when she comes back, and so little Ivy's gone. We're gonna have like a teenager Ivy now.
I have older, yeah. And actually, as a matter of fact, at the end of the episode, we'll catch on that real quick. But to kind of just quickly get to what the villains wanted this time. So they're looking for drugs to manage their pain right now, because apparently every time, as Miss Peabody explained, every time they use their powers, their DNA is rejecting the transplanted cells, the transplant stuff.
Was Ethel, was she like saying that to the whole group or just to Fish? Because it seemed like Fish was the only one really affected. But
Well,
she is the brains of the operation, so she's like she's making them do the stuff for her.
right. I think because it's weird, right? Because like the only one who we've seen has like an activatable power is like Fish and Marv, right?
Right.
So my only thought is that Fish has been using hers more, and maybe she's just feeling the effects more severely.
Yeah.
Because they were all pretty desperately clamoring for like the pills and whatever when they're breaking into the labs and stuff, and when she had the showdown with Jim.
Mhm.
So we kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but whatever. Jim got to Fish, they got away, duh, because they're villains. And then Jim went after Miss Peabody, to find out where Hugo Strange is, and then they followed him there and they took her. But that's really neither here nor there. But like the only other person we've seen actively use their power is like Man-Bat, who like spread his wings for 3 seconds.
Yeah.
He was in a tussle with Jim, so you couldn't really tell if he was actually in pain because of that. It was really hard to say. But I think you're right. I mean, Fish is the only one who's visibly like in agony.
Yeah.
And Miss Peabody said, like, you will die if you keep using your powers. Like, it will kill you.
Yeah.
And
she does it anyways.
she does it anyway. I mean,
if you have that kind of power, it gives you a leg up everywhere. So you're gonna want to exercise it the best of your ability to get ahead.
of course.
And I think that's what Fish is trying to do, but she's not quite thinking it through.
No, because Peabody even said, if you just stop using your powers, you'll be okay. And Fish is like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to stop.
Now she's touched her and, made her spill some beans, so.
Yep. So they're looking for Hugo Strange, obviously, who was the only one who could potentially fix them.
Yep.
Who knows if he's going to want to do that, but, that's really neither here nor there at this point. They got to get to him first.
Yep.
But in any case, we get to see Marv use his old powers again. He used it 3 times this episode.
Yeah.
And just shriveled her up like an old raisin.
Poor Ethel.
Yeah, he just aged her to death. And so, like you said, so now Selena's in the mix here, because obviously she's been following Fish for a little while now, we can assume. And Ivy followed her.
Silly girl.
Poor thing got caught, and Fish was not pleased. So, like you said, Ivy was grabbed by Marv, aged briefly, and then thrown into a raging sewer.
If she said that if you don't let me go, I'm going to tell, she would have been fine. Because, Selena was really standing for her, and Fish was leaning towards, like, okay, well, I guess you could stay kind of thing. And then she had to say that, and then she's like, Marv, do your business.
Yeah. So she kind of created her own mess. But like you mentioned, Ivy has been recast as an older woman. I mean, I think the actor playing her is like a grown, fairly...
I assume she's like in the 18 to 20 range. The
character.
Like
late teens, early 20s, yeah.
Yeah. The actress is, I don't know, older?
Who knows?
Who knows?
But, so that makes sense. I mean, Ivy's not dead.
No.
We know she's not dead. She's freaking Poison Ivy. So she's coming back.
Yep.
We know this. Just a matter of when, not if. But yeah, so while we're there, I guess with Selena, she's, into her usual antics as we've seen, taking pot shots at people as she sees fit, like poor Butch. And we could talk a little bit about her and Bruce, I guess. So Bruce approaches her awkwardly, as he normally does, and is like trying to warn her, like, hey, there might be some powerful people after me. Be careful. How you doing? She does not want to know him right now. She is.
Well, to her perspective, he abandoned her in Indian Hill, and then he was gone for 6 months.
Yep.
So, like, she's just pissed. Like, dude, you fucked it up. You left me.
Rightfully so, I think. I mean,
she has every right to be angry with him at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, he kind of got to get his story across just a little bit, but she didn't give a shit. She was done.
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, she's like, okay, look, go enjoy your Swiss Alps or whatever. And, like, of course, she's like,
Italy's better.
He's like, I went to Switzerland, I'll have you know. Thanks, rich kid.
Yeah, I don't
like,
care.
like, what a white-collar thing to say to somebody.
Mhm.
But anyway, to just quickly go to Bruce, so he goes in front of Wayne Enterprises and basically lays it out on the table like, I know you guys are being controlled by an outside source. He didn't say who because he doesn't know. But apparently during these 6 months, he's been collecting evidence and he's been building a case and threatens to go public with this stuff. Alfred very beautifully lays the smackdown to an upstart young man at the table, which was beautiful. Well played, Alfred.
It
And,
was.
you know, Bruce maybe shouldn't have done that.
I don't think it mattered how he was approaching this. They knew what he had been doing the whole time. Now he was finally back in Gotham, so even if he didn't say this, I'm pretty sure they would have sent somebody after him anyways.
I guess, yeah, probably just it's just a matter of when. I guess you're right. But in any case, Court of Owls not too happy with
Nope.
this young upstart Bruce Wayne and sent an associate who I'm calling a Talon because that's what they're called in the comics.
So like an assassin, but they're called a Talon.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Well, because owls, they have talons, the sharp part, whatever. But yeah, so like it's interesting because that guy's just kind of like a dude in a mask, but like the Talons in the comics are like all have their own like individual stories. They actually can't die, which is a lovely fun fact about them. They're kind of like Wolverine. They like regenerate from everything. That kind of nonsense, but whatever.
Okay.
So anyway, this guy comes into the one-room mansion, and
yeah,
Alfred puts up a damn good fight. And I'd like to note that Alfred is now actively carrying a combat knife on him. Good on you, buddy. It's a rough city.
Yep.
It's about time you pack in a little heat. But ultimately fails, and Bruce is taken. So, already kidnapped again, Bruce. What the hell, man?
Like I said, he's back in Gotham. Everybody knows it, so shit's gonna happen.
He's got a big kick me sign on his back. It's not looking good for Brucey, but I don't know. Oh, someone is asking in chat why Selena teamed up with Mooney. Honestly, because as soon as Mooney came back into town, Selena was just like, oh, "You're everything I want to be and more," and basically was just enamored with her.
I mean, we got the whole penguin eat fish thing earlier. Well, so do cats.
Cats do
Maybe
eat fish.
she's just hanging around because she likes the smell of tuna. I don't know.
We haven't seen her with cats in a long time. You notice that?
Just the pigeons.
Just pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously that's for another reason, but
yeah.
For Catwoman, she certainly does not hang around with cats very much right now. But I don't know. Guess we haven't seen her apartment lately.
Guess so. She does move around a lot, so.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I think she has to. She's kind of a thief.
Yes.
But in any case, I think that's basically all like the major events of the episode. So, what are you thinking? How does this set up the rest of the season and whatnot?
To be honest, I don't think these monsters are going to last very long.
Yeah, I mean, Jim already put a bunch down, apparently.
Yeah, and I think it's more of like, I remember season 1 being very episodic, where it was like Monster of the Week kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to throw a few of them in here and there during the season, kind of like that same format.
Mm-hmm.
But the obvious focus is the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we're going to see a lot of Court of Owls. I kind of... Like, why would they, really, really force the recast of Ivy if they weren't going to do something big with her?
Oh, they absolutely are. There's no way they're not.
And her being Poison Ivy being one of my favorite characters in the DC universe overall, I'm really looking forward to that. So.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really gotten to how she's going to get her freaky plant superpower thing yet, but maybe that's going to be like a Hugo Strange thing.
Mm-hmm.
That there's a very easy way that could happen.
We already know she's like a like an amateur botanist.
Yes. Yeah.
We already know that. Like, there's been signs throughout the last couple seasons, so um, it's an easy lead-in for what she's gonna be.
Yeah. I mean, she's got an affinity for plants. There's only, now she can flick her wrist and make them grow. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm a little worried that like Hugo Strange is going to be responsible for every supervillain in this series. I don't want that.
No.
I want more better origin stories and stuff like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know that that's going to happen. But
I mean, there are supernatural reasons for some of the villains and heroes, and like it's not just Hugo getting his fingers dirty. I mean,
yeah,
the Joker fell in most origin. He fell into a pot and got all chemicalized and stuff like that. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's not the case this time. We assume.
maybe.
We assume. But yeah, everything is wonky in Gotham. You cannot expect it to be canon to everything you've read in the comics in the past. It's its own monster. It's its own beast.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, and really, I mean, just to kind of piggyback that anyway, Poison Ivy had like a chemical accident too, where that's how she got her powers anyway. So like it's fine.
Yeah.
I guess because this show's not really doing the supernatural angle.
Mm-mm.
Most Batman villains don't, as far as I know. Mostly sciencey stuff. But in any case, like I'm kind of with you. Like I kind of hope that these villains do last a couple episodes. I think Fish is going to have a nice long arc this time, which will be great. Maybe some of her henchmen, like you said, might be like villain of the week kind of thing. Like, but dealt with that guy. Bat's gone.
Yeah.
Fine, whatever. But we do know that most of these villains are going to die. They might just get locked up and churn through the system again and back out on the streets. But it should be an interesting season. I have to say I'm a little fed up with Jim. I'm not going to lie. Like, he really needs to start taking responsibility for what he's doing. Like,
he was super responsible in season 1, but it made him uninteresting, and then they decided to make him a little bit badass, and we're just like, no, it's overdoing it.
See, I'm not even saying he needs to be like a responsible adult who pays his taxes and goes to work. I'm saying like he needs to take responsibility for his actions and like own things. Like GCPD is not the reason I lost Lee. I am the reason because I did bad things.
I mean, I think the whole him not taking responsibility for anything as far as that goes, like it started when he started twisting things when he started working with Penguin in season 1. Where
the lines are blurred.
Yeah, and then it just went crazy from there. Like
right.
he didn't care anymore.
Exactly. That's what like I'm not digging about him. Is like he's just this. He's kind of an asshole. And
yeah, his morals are gone.
Right, and it's also because in my mind Jim Gordon is like a beacon of hope in Gotham City, but right now he's just kind of like floating in this weird place where he doesn't want any real responsibility and won't take any responsibility for his actions.
No.
So I am kind of hoping we kind of get back to normal Jim a little bit, like find us a little balance where like he could be kind of a badass crime fighter, but also like a little more like just I don't even know what the word is. Just like he thinks and does and takes responsibility for himself.
A little bit more rational?
A little bit more rational. That's the word. Just like don't be such an idiot all the time. That's all.
He's running in with guns blazing and just super reckless right now.
Yeah, and drinking heavily.
Yeah.
Like, are there no therapists in Gotham, Jim? Is there a problem there? Was Lee the only one and she wasn't actually a therapist?
I think he's the I don't need a therapist type person.
Yeah, he's too tough for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, is that all for this episode?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where. I kind of knew what they were doing last season, but I don't know what they're doing this season. seems like
Yeah.
there's a lot of options open for them, and
So
I don't know.
so like the tagline for this season, I don't know if we said, is called Mad City. Last season was Rise of the Villains. This is called Mad City.
Hmm.
Whatever that means. Maybe Gotham's going to turn into a cesspool, which would be really neat. But like, I don't know. From this episode, it's hard to judge.
What do they mean by mad? Do they mean like people are angry? Do they mean they're crazy? You know, there's a lot of descriptions you could just take out of mad.
Right. I mean, we don't know. I'm hoping there's more like, maybe some upheaval in GCPD, government stuff, people rioting. That'd be cool.
Yeah, a
I
little
don't
bit
know.
of chaos. I mean, it's pretty chaotic already, but I mean a little bit more.
Yeah. Or substantiated chaos. But anyway, that's
Yes.
another. So next episode, episode 2, is called Burn the Witch, which is, there's a lot of good songs named Burn the Witch, but anyway.
Mhm.
So we have Fish Mooney takes matters into her own hands to locate Hugo Strange, forcing Gordon to reluctantly team up with journalist Valerie Vale to find her. Call her Vicky. Stop with the Valerie. But anyway. Penguin rises in popularity after criticizing the work of the GCPD, and Bruce's investigation of the Court of Owls is compromised. Meanwhile, Ivy Pepper is reintroduced into Gotham City. So she's not gone long. She has not gone long at all. I'm very excited to see what happens with her.
Mhm.
We'll see. I'm a little worried about the Court of Owls thing. I feel like they're going to show their hand too soon. I hope that's not the case. I hope I'm wrong. But just, please, guys, just hold on to the Court of Owls thing until Bruce grows up.
I mean, there's like 18 episodes this season. They better hold on a little bit.
Yeah. They gotta... I don't want the whole, like, this is my evil plot thing.
Mhm.
That
And
speech.
then we're sitting there for whole like 15 episodes being like, we
It's like,
know what's going on. Stop
right.
it. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's not mysterious anymore.
Just please, guys, just please tell me you've learned your lesson. But anyway, that is our show, finally. Oh boy, it's going to be a hell of a ride. So, Nikki, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Cool. And you can find me at No More on Twitter, where I may be posting rants about Gotham and or joy about the Telltale series about Batman. I don't know. We'll see. You can find us all over here at ASOTV on YouTube, obviously. Facebook, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, because Dom insisted.
Yeah.
Check us out. Things are starting to pick back up. So...
Yeah. I mean...
Shield's coming back tonight?
Yeah, it airs tonight. S.H.I.E.L.D. airs tonight.
Tomorrow's S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast?
Tomorrow is the S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. All the shows are rolling back in. Fall season's going to be packed. I think we are up to 16 or 17 shows.
Yeah, only. And next month, I mean, I'll be on Westwood. That's the next big thing for me. So I can't...
Yeah, Westworld. Can't wait for that.
Wait for that. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be really, really cool. Really a lot of cool stuff coming soon. So good night, everybody.
Latest. Poison Ivy!